Guys, please come in the video mode. Rashmi, Hampan, Priyanka, Vishaka, Rohin, come in the video mode. Renuka, Pradeep, Susmita, Mane, Hampan, mute. Okay, guys. Now, right now, around 16 people have joined. So I'll be starting with the class here. Okay. First of all, to discuss about the test that happened. Okay. Before that, first, let me apologize for yesterday. Okay, because I had scheduled a class at 12:15, but I was stuck in an administrative work, so I couldn't engage that class for you all. Okay. So really sorry to make you wait at that particular point of time. Okay. Second thing is, okay, just give me a second. Okay, fine. Coming to the eye test, I hope everybody has attended the eye test. Okay, and it was good. Everybody has done well. I don't know how you managed to do that. Okay, that is a matter of investigation. Okay, that you have really managed it well. Barring a few students, almost everybody has scored out of out. So either my students are really clever or intelligent enough to write the exams, or the faculty is really good that he has taught everything. So it can be either of the cases, right? Fine. So yes, most of you have done well in your eye test, so no doubt about it. Okay, though it was MCQ and all. Okay, those who have done it, okay, like without copying and all, those who have done it, okay, good for them. Those who have indulged themselves into other activities, then you have to rethink about it, because an easy paper like this, if you want to refer books and all for an easy paper, then you have to really rethink about what are you doing. Okay, so those who have really taken efforts, read the points, or have written the points during the class, okay, and have done it, okay, good, congratulations for them. Okay, now if you remember, I had told you that I'll be giving you notes before the eye test. I purposely did not give you the notes because I wanted to just check how many of you attend classes and how many of you have taken down the notes when I am teaching you all. Okay, because whatever was given for the eye test entirely was from the notes itself. There was not even a single question which was out of what I have taught, right? Okay, so uh, those who have not taken the notes, those who have not taken down the notes, please make it a habit that whenever you are attending classes, have a pen and a paper, so that you can take down the notes or take down the points which are discussed in the class. That's not only for my class, but it is applicable for all the classes. Okay, and before this class you had a meeting with HOD sir, so he's been very clear. Even I'm continuously telling you to attend classes, if you remember. Okay, and now it has come from the university itself that we have to send the attendance of all the students. So now it has become mandatory. Okay, and whatever is the recordings, all the classes are recorded. So whatever is the recording, whatever is your attendance will go. Okay, so henceforth at least be cautious about the warnings given by the faculty members. We don't just speak from our mind, but there are some backgrounds when we speak. Okay, so without wasting much time, okay, around 25 people have already joined, so I'll be starting with the class. If you remember, in the previous class we started with merchant banking, right? Is the screen visible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we can off your videos if you want. Okay, not a issue at all. Okay, if you, when you're answering anything, you can on your videos. Okay, off your videos doesn't mean you just vanish somewhere. Okay, be there, because I may ask question to anyone at any time. uh, Basically, to reduce the burden on your network, I'm asking you to off your videos, otherwise no issues at all. Okay, yes. So in the previous class, okay, if you remember, we started with merchant banking. We introduced who is a merchant banker, what is merchant banking. Okay, then we started with the features of merchant banking, where we said the merchant banking is more towards long term requirements. It is about marketing the securities. It is, he acts, a merchant banker acts as a middleman. Okay, then he's specialized in information on securities. He collects information about a particular securities and distribution of issue. Then we also studied the objectives of merchant banking. I hope we have covered this. Have we covered the objectives of merchant banking?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
then we have also covered this, I guess. Rohan?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, Murali, thank you.
Categories. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, then we
We have finished till advantages of merchant bankers.
no, I did not do this, I guess. Did I
So
come?
now it's done.
This is done?
So yeah, advertising of merchant banker.
Okay, okay. Sorry, it was long time, so maybe I'm growing old now, so I don't remember things. Okay, so if you have completed, no issues at all. Good for me. That I need to continue with the next part. Okay, so like services offered, the various services that are offered by merchant banker. Okay, we have studied this also. Then we studied the functions and or role of merchant banks, where he acts as a underwriter, he acts as a banker or a broker, a registrar, or a debenture trustee, and a portfolio manager. Okay, so he plays different roles uh, as a merchant banker, right? So after that we started with advantages. Okay, what is the advantage of merchant banking? Okay, first one is utilize the financial surplus. Okay, so whenever, see, what is the work of a merchant banker is, he wants the money to flow. Okay, he wants the money to flow or the economy to run. Okay, so whenever any investor has financial surplus is the disposable income that you have. Okay, after your expenses, after you meet all your regular expenses and all, whatever income that is remaining with you, or the savings that you have, that is called as the financial surplus. Okay, so how do we invest this financial surplus? The uh, advisor, so merchant banker helps you in advising or advises you on where to invest this financial surplus that you have, whether you need to go for mutual funds, or you go for stocks. Okay, you go for gold, you go for let's say commodities, etc., etc. Lots of avenues available for investment. So merchant banker basically helps you in advising as to where to invest. Okay, and this is not only with individual, but merchant bankers also provide an advisory role for the companies also. Okay, the companies that are their clients, they help the companies in investing the financial surplus. Next one is synchronized activities. Okay, so merchant banking basically is all about investment. Okay, it's all about issue management. Okay, now when I say issue management, it is issue of shares. Okay, so what do I mean by synchronized activities is all the activities which are related to issue management, whether it is prospectors, okay, issue of prospectors, then registration, complaints, then your allotments, okay, then refund. All these activities are properly synchronized because they are taken care by one single party. They are properly synchronized. The activities go one by one, okay, one after the other the activities will follow, okay. That will definitely study when we are studying the issue management in detail, okay, how the activities are properly synchronized one after the other, okay. So that is another advantage of merchant banking. Next one is compliance with the rules and regulations. Yes, merchant bankers helps the companies in complying with the rules and regulations set by SEBI or the Companies Act. Okay, in some cases RBI. Okay, so all these rules and regulations which are set by these bodies, whether it is SEBI or the RBI or the government of India. Okay, the merchant bankers helps the companies in complying with these rules and regulations. Then next one is identification of investment prospects. Yes, uh, wherever there is investment, wherever there is a good investment opportunity, merchant bankers are the one who analyze those opportunities and suggest their clients that it's a good opportunity and it would be better to invest into this particular opportunity. So identification of investment prospects is one of the another important role that a particular merchant banker plays. Okay, so that is another advantage. Then analysis of risk. Yes, whenever he is talking about investment, he also considers the risk as well as returns. Okay, returns, obviously one considers returns when he is investing, but merchant banker also considers the risk involved into a particular investment. So the advantage of merchant banker is he will analyze the risk and then accordingly give his advisory services or gives his suggestions on a particular investment avenue or investment prospects. Okay, next one is execution of activities. Now there are lots of activities that a merchant banker plays during the issue management, for advisory, for corporate advisory services or project counseling or corporate counseling. Okay, lots of activities are um, involved in a merchant banking firm. Okay, so execution of these activities becomes very easy when you take help of a merchant banker, especially with issue management. Okay, issuing your issuing your shares to the general public becomes very easy when there is a merchant banker helping you out in this particular issue. So execution of activities becomes easier or very smooth when there is a merchant banker. That is another advantage. And last one is supporting management and partners. Now supporting management and partners in corporate decisions, whether it is decision related to starting a new company, decision related to starting a new project, decision related to mergers and acquisitions, decision related to disinvestment. All these decisions are supported by merchant bankers. Okay, so that is how they support the management and partners in taking appropriate decisions. So that is, these are the advantages of merchant banking. Okay, so any doubts in any of these advantages?
No, sir.
No, it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just give me a second. Okay, there's some issue. Guys, I hope you I know I think you cannot see the screen now, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, just a minute. There's some. Okay, just check now.
Yes, sir. We
Yes, sir.
can
Now
see
we
it
can.
now.
Okay, thank
We
you.
can see, sir.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so I hope you're clear with the advantages of merchant banking now. Everybody's clear. Okay, so let's go ahead with the disadvantages. No doubt that yes, merchant banking is good, but it has certain disadvantages or some drawbacks. Now what are those disadvantages? First is services along with large corporates, clients, or cash rich small entities. Okay, merchant banking services are not affordable by to a small enterprise. Okay, it cannot be afforded because they charge huge amount of commission or brokerage for the services that they are offering. So the merchant banking services can be availed only by large corporates or only by cash rich smaller units. Smaller units would be there, but they are cash rich. They can pay the commissions charged or the expenses that are charged by the merchant bankers. Then success or failure. Okay, now when we talk about merchant banking, we rely on the decisions that are made by, or the suggestions that are made by the merchant banker. Now a merchant banker is not a machine or a god to give a decision which is absolutely right or which can be 100% accurate. No, he cannot do that. So there are chances of failure also, right? That is another risk that is involved. So that is another disadvantage, because you are relying on a third party. So there may be success, there may be failure. That is another disadvantage. So you cannot be 100% assured that whatever decision is given, whatever advice is given by the merchant banker is 100% right or accurate, and you will be successful if you adhere to those advices. Okay, so it may not happen. So that is another disadvantage. There's and last one is risk. So success and failure also talks about risk over there. Okay, because you're relying on somebody else, so there is a lot of risk involved in these activities, because a particular merchant banker may be successful, may not be successful, and that success and failure is indirectly related to success and failure of your company. So that is the risk involved. Okay, so risk is another issue that any merchant banker faces. Okay, so that is natural. Basically, it's nobody can avoid it. Okay, so it's quite natural. But yes, these are the disadvantages of merchant banking. Okay, so though you find more advantages, and that is why people go for merchant banking. Okay, there are hardly few disadvantages which are related to merchant banking. So are you clear with this concept of merchant banking? What is merchant banking? What are the various categories, the objectives, the functions, the roles, advantages and disadvantages? Yes. Okay, because next is we are moving to the next part, that is issue management now. To understand issue management, you need to understand clearly what is a merchant banker, who is a merchant banker. So if you're clear with who is a merchant banker, what it is, then I can go ahead with issue management. So I hope everybody is clear with merchant banking. Okay, so let's move on to the next part, that is issue management. Now, what is issue management? I have discussed this when I was explaining merchant banking to you. Issue management is basically issue of shares or debentures or issue of capital to the general public. That is what issue management talks about. So what is issue? So that is issue. Now, what is issue management? Various processes used to manage different types of issues for raising funds for the companies. Okay, as I said, you want to raise capital. Now, what are the different ways of raising capital? Now, it's a question to you guys. Anyone can answer this question. What are the various ways through which we can issue capital, or we can raise funds?
So
The
IPO.
loan from
Deben-
finance.
Yes, Swapnil, go ahead. Swapnil or Rohit? Rohit.
So Rohit.
Yeah.
So IPO, FPO, then QIP.
See, basically IPO, FPO, QIP is basically you're talking about shares, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So through shares, one is through shares. Then
the debentures, bonds,
ventures, yes. Bonds, very nice.
preference issue,
Preference shares, yes. We have equity shares and preference shares, very nice. So these are
right issue, sir, right issue.
right issue is a issue, is a part of equity share issue only, Rohan.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay, I'll tell you what is right issue later. Fine.
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
So basically
so
issue, yes.
is this question specific to the securities, only the securities, or
Security.
the other?
Others means what?
You said,
What do you mean by others?
you said from where, like what are the sources from where we can raise funds?
Yes, yes, yes.
So these are all the issues, sir.
Yes, here we talk about issue means, see, when you're taking a loan from a bank, you don't issue anything, right? So that will not be a
Yes,
part
sir.
of this.
Yes, sir.
The loan from a bank will not be a part of it, but issuing debenture, which is a part of loan capital itself, will be a part of issue management. Issuing debentures would be a part of issue management. Issuing shares, whether it is equity shares or preference shares, would be a part of issue management. Now you do it through IPO, you do it through FPO, or you do it through book building process, or whatever you do. Okay, that's the next step for it. With whatever issue of capital you're doing, that will be under that will come under issue management. So it's not only about issue of shares. Okay, so when I say under issue management, raising of funds means it does not include taking a loan, because when you are taking a loan, you are not issuing anything. Are you issuing anything to the bank or the financial institution?
No, sir.
No, right? You give securities, that is a different issue, but you don't issue anything. Correct? So loans from financial institutions and banks will not be a part of issue management. Issue management basically is the instruments that you are issuing for collection of capital. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. So various process issued to manage different types of issues for raising funds of the companies is called as issue management. Now what is public issue management? It involves marketing of corporate securities by offering the securities to the public, procuring private subscription to the securities, and offering securities to existing shareholders of the company. Okay, so there are three things over here. Okay, if you read it clear, sorry, thoroughly, okay, you will come to know that there are three things which are mentioned over here. What is a public issue? It is issue of shares to the general public, private subscription, and to the existing shareholders of the company. Okay, so what are these three is basically, first one is issue of shares to the general public. Now this is done through your IPO, okay, initial public offering, where you offer shares to the general public. That is the first thing. Second thing is issue of shares to private parties. Okay, so private subscription, please remember these words. Okay, first is public subscription, where anybody can apply for the shares and get the shares issued. That is public subscription. Second is private subscription, where it is also called as private placements. Okay, it is called as private placement, where the shares are issued to a particular set of people, identified set of parties which are identified. Mostly they are bankers and financial institutions. Okay, I'll give you a simple example. Now when I was doing my project during my MBA, this was around 12 years back, 12 13 years back, I don't remember. Okay, I did it in one of the sugar industry who was going for an IPO. Okay, now during that time they had done a private placement. Now what is this private placement is, they had identified certain parties whom they will issue shares directly. For example, ICICI Bank, because ICICI Bank was a banker to that particular company. So what they did, they issued shares to ICICI Bank directly. That is called as private placements. Issuing shares to private parties is called as private placement. So you identify them and you issue them the shares directly. That, so it is called as private placements or private subscription. That is the second part. Third is offering securities to the existing shareholders, which is called as the rights issue. They are called as rights issue. That is issuing shares to the existing shareholders. Okay, so whenever you undergo an IPO, always they ask you whether you are an existing shareholder or no. Okay, so because sometimes the company may go for a second issue, they may not issue only once, but they may issue shares second time in the general public. So at that time they may say whether you are a existing shareholder or not. Okay, so if you are an existing shareholder, you are liable to get the rights issue. Rights issue means what now? Okay, suppose there is a ratio of, let's say, 5 is to 1. Now what is this 5 is to 1 is, suppose you already have 5 shares of a particular company, you are eligible to get 1 share in that new issue. Okay, for every 5 share you will get 1 share. Now you have to pay for it, it's not a bonus. Okay, you have to pay for that shares, but that is your eligibility. Okay, that is called as rights issue. Okay, so rights issue are the issues which are made to the existing shareholders of the company. So are you clear with these three parts? That is the public issue, where anybody can apply and anybody may get the shares. Second is private, where the shares are given to private parties which are identified and only shares are issued to those parties. Third is rights issue, which is done for the existing shareholders. Are you clear with this,
Yes, sir.
everyone? Okay, so basically this is called as issue management. So issue management also considers all these facets. Okay, next one is, okay, if you can see this clearly. Okay, yeah, issue management intermediaries. Who are the various people who are involved when you talk about issue management? Okay, now let us not go into the responsibilities right now. Okay, let us just try to understand who all are involved. Okay, so first one is the merchant bankers or the lead managers. Now, merchant bankers are the people who are helping you out in issue of the shares. They are also called as lead managers. They are taking a lead in issue of the shares. So they do everything, right from your registration to your prospectus building to issue of prospects, okay, appointment of brokers. In some cases, appointment of brokers would be there, then dispatching of prospectors, then subscriptions, collection of subscriptions, complaints, okay. Then comes your issue of shares, that is allotment of shares. After allotment comes issue, after issue comes refund. So all these things are managed by the lead manager. So he is a merchant banker or a lead manager who takes care of your issue. Second one is underwriters. Now we have already spoken about underwriters, where these are the parties who help you in issuing shares to the general public. Okay, suppose you are a new firm in a firm, okay, and the investors, you are not so famous in the market. Okay, in that case, issuing shares to the general public becomes very difficult. So in such cases, your underwriters will play a very important role. They will buy shares of your company and they will issue the shares to the general public. Okay, that is how underwriters help you in issuing your shares. Okay, now for that, underwriters charge underwriting commission. Okay, you have to pay certain amount of commission to these underwriters. Then, as I said, there are people who are called as brokers to the issue. Now they help you in the subscription, okay, filling of the applications, issue of prospectors, all these things. So they are the middlemen between between the company and the investors. So that is what brokers are. Then debenture trustees. Okay, debenture trustees are basically, I have already discussed this in the previous class. If you remember, the role of merchant banker is also of a debenture trustee, where he is appointed by the debenture holders to protect the rights of the debentures. Okay, now this comes when there is issue of debentures. Okay, this debenture trustee comes into picture only when there are issue of debentures. When there are issue of shares, debenture trustee doesn't come into a picture. Okay, so the debenture trustee is also one of the party to the issue. Then registrar to the issue or share transfer agent. Every company has to appoint a person called as a registrar. Okay, so there would be a registrar of the issue who will register all the applications and who will register all the allotments. Okay, and a share transfer agent. Okay, like transferring of shares from one party to another, that happens through a share transfer agent. So that is the fifth party who is involved into issue management. Then is prohibition of fraudulent and unfair trading practices relating to the securities market. So there is a regulating body, especially SEBI, takes care of the prohibition of fraudulent activities or unfair trade practices. Now, what are unfair trade practices is, guys, there is something called as insider trading. Okay, remember this word, insider trading. Now, what is this insider trading is? Okay, I am an employee, I am of an organization, or I am at a very high position in a particular organization. Let's say I am a director of a particular company. Okay, and I know what are the actions that my company is going to take in future. So what happens is, because of these actions, the share prices are definitely going to increase or decrease. Okay, so I am aware of that information. And suppose I give that information to my brother or my friend and ask them to buy the shares of my company, because this is what is going to happen in future, so please buy the shares of my company. That is a fraud. That is unfair trade practice, because that is called as insider trading. I am aware of the information, so I am trading on the shares. So normally, the directors of the company are not allowed to shares trade in shares of that particular company itself. Okay, so that is how insider trading is prohibited. Then prohibition of dealing, communication, counseling on matters relating to insider trading. Okay, so here, that is what I was talking about. Okay, next one is portfolio managers. Okay, who helps you in managing your portfolio. Okay, basically, a portfolio includes everything from shares to debentures to bonds to assets, everything is included. So these are the people who are involved into managing the entire portfolio of your organization. And okay, I left one thing in between, that is banker to the issue. Now banker is a person, okay, a very important person actually, because bankers are the person or the party where the subscription amount is deposited. Now suppose I want to subscribe for shares of Mazgaon Dock, okay, IPO for Mazgaon Dock. So what do? I apply for that. Okay, when I apply, I have to pay money. Now where does that money go? That money goes to the banker, to the issue. The whoever is the banker which is appointed by Mazgaon Dock, all the money that I have uh, paid for my subscription, okay, or thousands of investors would be paying for the subscription, the entire money goes to that particular banker. Okay, suppose Mazgaon Dock has appointed, let's say, ICICI as its banker, so all the amount that is paid by the various subscribers will go to ICICI Bank, and that ICICI Bank will become the banker to the issue. Okay, and later after the allotment of the shares, those people who have not got the shares, okay, for them refund is also been processed by these bankers. So these are called as bankers to the issue. Okay, so these are the various parties that are involved in issue management, starting from merchant banker or lead manager to underwriters, bankers to the issue, brokers to the issue, debenture trustee, then registrar, and portfolio managers. And there are regulating bodies who help you, who basically protect from fraudulent and unfair trade practices like insider trading. So this is how these are the various intermediaries for issue management. I hope you're clear with all these various intermediaries. Okay, guys, any doubts in any of these intermediaries, please go through all the intermediaries. Okay, and if you have any doubts with any one of them, okay, you are free to ask me. Any doubts, guys? If it is clear, please give a thumbs up so that I can go ahead with the next part. Okay, great. Okay, so most of you are clear with this, I guess. Okay, I don't know whether you're just showing thumbs up so that I can go ahead. Okay, now Rohin, you had asked me this question, issue of shares to the existing shareholders. So are you clear with that rights issue thing that I spoke in the previous slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. Okay,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now when I was talking about IPO, okay, if you remember, I said the IPO can be done more than 2 times. Okay, it can, or any number of times. It may not be that you are issuing shares to the general public only once and later you cannot issue it. Okay, you can do that, but first time whenever you are issuing it is called as an IPO. Second time when you are doing it is called as an FPO. Now, can somebody tell me what this is FPO means?
So follow public offering.
It is follow on public offering,
Follow
right? Follow on
public
public
follow
offering,
on.
correct? Right. Okay, so it is follow on public offering. It's not different from IPO, but since it is done for the second time or not done for the first time, okay, it is called as follow on public offering. Okay, so are you clear with these concepts of IPO, FPO, rights issue, and private placements? Everybody is clear with that? Okay, great. Okay, so next one is the classification of issue management. Okay, now issue management can be classified into two, that is pre-issue management and post-issue management. So as a merchant banker, what are my duties and what are my responsibilities is decided on the base, or is classified into two types. One is pre-issue, that is before the issue, what are the various tasks, what are the various activities. As I said, it is synchronized activities, right? So what are the various activities that I have to undergo before the issue happens, and what are the activities that I have to undergo after the issue is done. Okay, so that is called as pre-issue management and post-issue management is what we are going to study in the next class. Okay, so what I'll do is, since only 2 minutes are remaining, guys, I may not continue with the next part because it will take a lot of time for me to explain this entire pre-issue management thing. Okay, so we'll stop over here. If you have any doubts, you are free to ask. Okay, I'll stop sharing the screen right now. Okay, and if you have any doubts, you are free to ask. Any doubts, guys? Okay, we are left with 1 minute, guys. Do one thing in the chat box. Okay, type your USN number. Everybody type your USN number in the chat box quickly, so that it's a type of taking attendance. Okay, so that you are also assured that yes, your attendance has been taken. Okay, type your USN number in the chat box in the uppercase.
Sir,
Yes, Sonali.
sir, please let us know that when our classes are going to start, sir.
Definitely,
So,
definitely.
like if we,
No, no. Only yesterday there was an issue, as I told you. Okay, I was supposed to take a class, but I couldn't take a class. Okay.
yes, sir, because as sir told, HOD sir told that the attendance will be taken in first 5 minutes.
First 5 minutes, I understand. So whenever you have a class, please log in. I have told you this in the beginning also. Okay, wait for 10-15 minutes
Yeah.
and then you log out. But wait for
Yes,
5
sir,
minutes.
but so after 15-20 minutes they'll start the class. So how
That
when will
that
let you know?
that issue I have already spoken. Okay, and it will be sorted out. Don't worry about that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, because there's a lot of chaos. We don't understand when the
I
class is
understand
going
that
on and when
because
class
see,
ends.
faculties are also stuck in some work, so they cannot